Have you ever woken up feeling perfectly fine, only to find yourself feeling dizzy, weak, or just a little off a few minutes later? If you're over 60, please don't brush that moment off, because what feels like just aging could be something far more serious. As a neurologist who's treated thousands of stroke patients over the past 30 years, I can tell you this. Most strokes don't come with a big warning. They start small, quiet, subtle, a little dizziness, a weak arm, slurred speech that goes away in a few minutes. But behind those small signs, your brain may be fighting for oxygen. And if we ignore it, we may not get a second chance. Now here's the hopeful part. A stroke doesn't just happen by chance. It builds slowly from tiny choices we make each morning. Choices that feel normal, even healthy. But for an aging brain, they may be quietly increasing your risk. The good news? With just a few small changes, you can protect your balance, your memory, and your independence, starting tomorrow morning. In today's video, I'll walk you through 7 common morning habits that many older adults follow without knowing they're raising their stroke risk. And more importantly, I'll show you how to fix them. No medication, no surgery, just simple, powerful adjustments that support a healthier brain. And if any part of this video makes you pause and think, that sounds like me, you're not alone. Please share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help someone else recognize the signs and take action before it's too late. Before we dive in, please take a moment to subscribe to Health for the Elderly. We're building a warm, supportive space where seniors like you can learn, share, and stay sharp together. Now, let's begin with the first habit. It happens the moment you open your eyes. And if you move too quickly, your brain could be in danger without you even knowing it. Number 1, standing up too fast, the hidden drop in brain oxygen. Let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, do you sit up and stand right away, maybe even in a bit of a rush? It's something many of us do without thinking. The sun is shining, the day has begun, and we want to get moving. But if you're over 60, that quick rise out of bed could quietly put your brain at risk. You see, after 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is in a low pressure, low circulation state. Your heart rate is slower, your blood vessels are relaxed, and your brain is still catching up from the night's rest. Then suddenly you go from lying flat to standing upright. Your blood shifts downward toward your legs, and your brain momentarily receives less oxygen. This is called orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when changing positions too quickly. And in older adults, it's far more common and more dangerous than most people realize. You might feel a little dizzy. You might feel your knees wobble, your eyes blur, or your thoughts lag for just a moment. But here's the truth. That small moment may mean your brain isn't getting enough oxygen. And when this happens repeatedly, day after day, it can weaken your circulation, damage tiny vessels in the brain, and even trigger a transient ischemic attack, TIA, or a full-blown stroke. Let me tell you about my patient, Mr. Williams, 78 years old. He's a retired auto mechanic, sharp, independent, always on his feet. But he told me something that caught my attention. Every morning when I stand up, Doc, I feel like I might tip over for just a second. Then I'm fine. Except one morning, he wasn't. He stood up too fast, blacked out for 2 seconds, and fell. At the hospital, we found a mild stroke, not from a clot or a bleed alone, but from years of low oxygen moments building up unnoticed. That moment of dizziness he'd ignored for years, it was his brain asking for help. So here's what I tell all my patients. Slow down. When you first wake up, don't jump out of bed. Take a few deep breaths, wiggle your fingers and toes, then slowly sit up. Pause for 30 seconds. Let your body adjust. Then plant your feet on the floor. And when you're ready, stand up slowly. This routine may take 1 or 2 minutes, but it could protect your brain for years. It's not about being weak, it's about being smart. Because as we age, our baroreceptors, the sensors in our arteries that regulate blood flow, become less responsive. That's normal. But that also means we need to help our bodies transition more gently. And here's a final thought. If you've ever felt dizzy, lightheaded, or just off in the morning, even for a few seconds, write it down. Note the date and time. If it happens more than once, talk to your doctor. It could be nothing, or it could be the first sign your brain is struggling for oxygen. Have you ever felt this way? Have you had a moment in the morning where you stood up too quickly and felt faint or off balance? Please share in the comments. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone, and that what they feel is not just aging. It's a signal worth listening to. In our next section, we'll talk about a simple glass of water and why skipping it could thicken your blood and increase your stroke risk before you even sit down for breakfast. Number 2, drink a glass of water. The simple way to thin your blood and protect your brain. Let me ask you something simple but powerful. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Do you head to the kitchen for coffee, check the weather, sit quietly for a few moments? Today, I want to encourage you to add one small habit to that list, something that could protect your brain more than you realize. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning. It may sound too simple to make a difference, but if you're over 60, that glass of water can help lower your stroke risk, improve your memory, and support better brain circulation, all before breakfast. Here's why. When we sleep for 7 or 8 hours, we're not drinking any fluids. We lose water through our breath, through light perspiration, and, especially for those on blood pressure or heart medications, through mild fluid loss overnight. By the time you wake up, your body is already slightly dehydrated, and the part of your body that feels that most is your brain. Mild dehydration makes your blood thicker. For younger adults, this isn't a big issue, but for older adults whose blood vessels are narrower, more fragile, and often under pressure, thick blood moves more slowly. Slower blood means slower oxygen to the brain, and that sets the stage for small clots, poor circulation, and a higher risk of stroke, especially in the morning hours when blood pressure naturally rises. Let me tell you about one of my patients, Mrs. Jeanette, 80 years old, a retired school teacher. She walked every day, ate well, and stayed sharp, but she often skipped drinking water in the morning. One day, she woke up feeling lightheaded and had trouble finishing a sentence. At the hospital, she was diagnosed with a transient ischemic attack, a mini stroke. Her labs showed no major disease, but she was mildly dehydrated. Her blood was too concentrated. That morning, her brain simply didn't get the oxygen it needed. Now, Jeanette drinks a glass of room temperature water every morning before anything else. Since then, the dizzy spells have never come back. Water isn't a miracle cure, but for your brain, that first glass of water acts like a gentle switch, turning on your circulation, bringing oxygen where it's needed, and easing your blood pressure into the day. So tomorrow morning, before your coffee, before your breakfast, even before your pills, drink one full glass of water. It takes less than a minute, but the benefits can last all day. Have you already made this part of your routine? Or would you like to try starting tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. Your small change might inspire someone else to take that first step too. In the next section, we'll talk about something that hides in plain sight on your breakfast plate. It may seem healthy, but it could be quietly pushing your blood pressure into dangerous territory without you ever tasting it. Number 3, hidden salt in your breakfast, the silent enemy of your brain and blood pressure. Let me ask you to picture your breakfast. Maybe it's a bowl of cereal, a slice of toast with some cheese, maybe scrambled eggs with sausage or a breakfast bar on the go. It sounds harmless, even healthy, especially if you're eating whole grains or low-fat options. But here's the surprising truth. Many common breakfast foods are quietly loaded with salt, and that morning sodium spike could be raising your blood pressure when your brain is at its most vulnerable. You see, our blood pressure naturally increases in the early morning hours. It's part of the body's wake-up system, a small surge to help us become alert and active. But if we add salt to that natural rise, especially without realizing it, we may be pushing our blood vessels into dangerous territory. And here's the tricky part. Salt isn't just in the shaker on your table. It hides in processed breads, flavored oatmeal packets, store-bought breakfast bars, cheeses, and even healthy cereals. A single slice of toast or bowl of cereal can carry 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium, and that's before you add anything else. For older adults, this matters even more. As we age, our blood vessels stiffen, and many of us already deal with high blood pressure. Too much sodium can add extra pressure to the tiny capillaries in the brain, weakening them over time and increasing the risk of stroke, memory loss, and even sudden confusion. Let me tell you about Mr. Charles, a patient of mine in his 70s. He thought he was eating well, whole grain cereal with almond milk every morning, but when we looked closer, his cereal had over 300 milligrams of sodium per serving, and his toast added another 200. By 8 a.m., he'd already exceeded the recommended sodium for an entire meal, without even tasting anything salty. So what can we do? You don't have to give up your favorite foods. Just make small swaps that bring your sodium down without sacrificing taste. Instead of instant flavored oatmeal, try plain oats with berries or a few unsalted nuts. Instead of cheese or sausage-heavy breakfasts, try boiled eggs with avocado or a slice of low-sodium toast. Even something as simple as reading the nutrition label can help. Try to keep your entire breakfast under 400 milligrams of sodium. You might be surprised how fast it adds up. And remember, many processed foods don't even taste salty. So it's not about trusting your tongue. It's about checking the label and making conscious choices. Have you ever noticed how much salt hides in your morning meal? Have you found a low-sodium breakfast that still satisfies you? I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments. Your tip might be the small change someone else needs to protect their brain and blood vessels. In the next part, we'll look at a drink many of us love, coffee. But if you drink it on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning, it might quietly raise your stroke risk. Number 4, morning coffee, a familiar habit that deserves caution. Let me take a guess. Your morning begins with a hot cup of coffee. The smell, the warmth, the sense of routine, it's comforting and familiar. And you're not alone. For many people over 60, coffee feels like the key to waking up fully. But if you usually drink coffee on an empty stomach right after waking up, I'd like to gently share something important. That habit, though common, might be quietly putting stress on your heart, your blood vessels, and even your brain. Here's why. Coffee contains caffeine, a natural stimulant. When you drink it, especially first thing in the morning, it triggers a chain reaction. Your heart rate increases, your blood vessels tighten, and your body releases adrenaline, the hormone responsible for alertness. This leads to a sudden spike in blood pressure, and if your stomach is empty and your blood vessels are already a bit stiff, as they often are in older adults, that spike can create extra strain on your brain's delicate capillaries. For younger people, the body adjusts quickly, but after age 60, our blood vessels become less flexible, and many of us already deal with high blood pressure or irregular heart rhythms. In that context, a strong dose of caffeine on an empty stomach can increase the risk of transient ischemic attacks, mini strokes, heart palpitations, or feelings of dizziness and confusion. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold, a 74-year-old retired truck driver. Every morning, he drank 2 large cups of coffee before eating anything. "It's the only way I feel awake," he told me. But one morning he felt his heart racing and became lightheaded. His blood pressure had spiked unusually high. We didn't take away his coffee. Instead, we changed the timing, and that made all the difference. And that's my suggestion to you too. You don't need to give up coffee. Just be smarter about when and how you drink it. Here's what to do. Wake up and drink a glass of room temperature water. Eat something small, maybe a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast, or a few pieces of fruit. Then enjoy your cup of coffee. Just 1 moderate cup, not 3 or 4. This helps cushion your body, stabilize your blood pressure, and reduce the strain on your cardiovascular system. And one more thing, watch what you're adding to your coffee. Creamers, artificial sweeteners, flavored syrups. These may taste good, but often add inflammation-promoting ingredients that affect your brain over time. If you can't, try black coffee or a splash of unsweetened milk. Also, if you find yourself needing more and more coffee just to stay alert, it might be a sign of something deeper, like dehydration, poor sleep, or even low nutrition. Coffee might be covering up the real issue. So, what's your morning coffee routine like? Have you ever noticed jitters, a fast heartbeat, or dizziness after your coffee? Please share in the comments. Your story might help someone else make a simple but powerful change. In the next part, we'll talk about morning symptoms many seniors ignore, thinking they're just tired or slept the wrong way. But in reality, they might be your brain's first quiet cry for help. Number 5. Overlooked morning symptoms. When your brain is quietly crying for help. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever woken up in the morning and just felt off? Maybe a little dizzy. Maybe your balance wasn't quite there when you stepped out of bed. Or maybe your arm felt a bit weak. Your words didn't come out clearly, or your thoughts were foggy for no clear reason. And then you shrugged it off. Maybe I slept funny. Maybe I stayed up too late. Or simply, well, I'm just getting older. But what if I told you that might not just be aging, it could be your brain's first quiet cry for help. Morning symptoms like dizziness, slight weakness, slurred speech, or a brief loss of balance could be signs of a transient ischemic attack, TIA, also known as a mini stroke. TIAs often last only a few minutes. They come and go quickly, leaving no obvious damage behind. But they are not harmless. A TIA is one of the strongest warning signs that a full-blown stroke could be coming soon. I've seen many patients describe the same feeling. I just felt off for a minute, then I was okay. I thought I was just tired or dehydrated. And they dismissed the only warning their brain had time to give. Here's the part that concerns me. 1 in 3 people who experience a TIA will have a stroke within a year if they don't take action. So please, if you ever have a morning where something doesn't feel quite right, don't ignore it. Write it down. What time did it happen? What did you feel exactly? How long did it last? Then share that with your doctor. There are even simple notebooks and apps designed to help you track these moments. The brain is wise, but it doesn't shout. It whispers. Through small signals, a flicker of imbalance, a few seconds of slurred speech, a fatigue that feels off. If you listen, those whispers can save your life. So let me ask, have you ever had a morning like that? If you have, please share in the comments. Your story might help someone else recognize a symptom in time and take action before it's too late. In the next part, we'll talk about something almost every older adult does each morning: taking medication.
But what you may not know
is how you take your pills can mean the difference between protecting your brain and putting it at risk. Number 6, morning medications. How to protect your brain with the right habits. Let me ask you something simple. Do you take medications in the morning? Maybe it's for blood pressure, cholesterol, heart rhythm, or blood thinning. For many people over 60, these pills are a quiet but powerful line of defense, helping to protect the brain, the heart, and the blood vessels from serious harm. But here's something many people don't realize. It's not just the medicine that matters. It's how, when, and even what you take it with. I once asked a patient, "When do you take your morning pills?" She said, "Whenever I remember." Sometimes it's 7 a.m., sometimes 9, and once or twice I forgot completely. Another gentleman told me, "I couldn't remember if I took it already, so I just took another one to be safe." These may seem like small mistakes, but they can be dangerous. Skipping a dose may let your blood pressure spike without warning. Doubling up could send your pressure too low, or, if you're on blood thinners, increase your risk of bleeding. And drinking pills with coffee or juice instead of water can interfere with how well your body absorbs them. So, how can you take your medicine the right way? Here are a few tips I often give my patients. Use a pill organizer divided by day and time, morning, noon, and night. A glance tells you what you've taken. Set a daily reminder on your phone or smart device. Even a simple alarm can be life-saving. Attach your medication to a habit you never miss, like brushing your teeth or drinking your morning glass of water. Always take medications with plain water unless your doctor tells you otherwise. Avoid coffee, tea, or juice, which may change how the drug works. Never change your dose without talking to your doctor, even if you feel fine. Medications often do their work quietly behind the scenes. Let me tell you about Mr. Walter, nearly 80 years old. He used to skip his morning pills because he felt fine. One day, his blood pressure spiked and he suffered a mild stroke. After that, he began using a pill organizer and tied his pill taking to his morning water routine. Since then, his blood pressure has been stable and he hasn't missed a single dose. And what about you? Have you found a routine that helps you remember your pills every day? Have you ever accidentally skipped a dose or taken one twice? Please share your experience in the comments. A small tip from you might be exactly what someone else needs to stay safe and consistent. In the final part, we'll talk about a morning habit we all do, but sometimes delay, going to the bathroom, and how putting it off, even for a few minutes, might silently stress your heart and your brain. Number 7. Delaying your morning bathroom trip, a small act that puts big stress on your heart and brain. Let me ask you something a little personal, but very important. Do you ever wake up needing to use the bathroom, but choose to stay in bed a little longer? Maybe you wait for your second alarm. Maybe you scroll through the news, check the weather, or sip your coffee first. It might seem harmless, but for those of us over 60, delaying your first trip to the bathroom in the morning can quietly increase the risk to your heart and your brain. Here's why. While you sleep, your body continues to produce urine, and by morning, your bladder is usually full. It's your body's gentle signal that it's time to wake up and release. But when you hold it in, your body begins to respond with mild stress. It releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, similar to what happens when you're anxious or in danger. The result? Your blood pressure rises. Your heart rate increases. Your blood vessels tighten, especially those leading to the brain. Now remember, your blood pressure is already higher in the early morning hours due to natural hormonal changes. Add the stress of a full bladder, and you've created a silent spike in pressure that can strain your heart and your brain. Some studies even suggest that a full bladder can trigger irregular heart rhythms in older adults, particularly in those with existing heart or valve conditions. I remember a patient named Mary, age 68, who told me she used to hold it in every morning just for a few minutes. One day, she got dizzy and nearly fainted when standing up. After that, she started going to the bathroom right away after waking up. And you know what? She told me that one change made my whole morning feel better. So here's my gentle reminder to you. When your body says it's time to go, listen. Don't wait until after your coffee. Don't scroll through your phone first. Make your morning bathroom trip your first act of self-care. It takes less than a minute. Less than a minute. No pills, no special tools, just a simple habit that can reduce pressure on your heart and protect your brain. And what about you? Have you ever delayed your morning bathroom trip? Did you notice a difference when you stopped waiting? Please share your story in the comments. A small change you've made might be the wake-up call someone else truly needs. And now that we've walked through 7 small morning habits that can make a big difference, let's take a step back and bring it all together. Would you like me to write the conclusion now?
Now you see, a stroke doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's often the result of small, quiet choices we make each morning. Standing up too quickly, skipping water, eating salty breakfasts, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, ignoring mild dizziness, taking medications carelessly, or delaying a trip to the bathroom. Each of these habits may seem harmless, but together they silently wear down your circulation and place added pressure on your brain. Here's the good news. You don't need a total lifestyle makeover. Start by changing just 1 or 2 habits this week. You'll be surprised how quickly your body responds. You may notice clearer thinking, steadier steps, more energy, and fewer scary off moments, all because you took small, gentle steps consistently. So today, I invite you to choose one habit to improve. Breathe slower, drink water first, rise gently, listen to your body like it's an old friend.
If you found even one helpful insight in this video, please leave a 1 in the comments below. If you're unsure or have a question, type 0 and let us help you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Health for the Elderly. We're here to support you with honest, simple, and healing guidance every single day. And now, there's one more thing that many people over 60 do every morning, thinking it's healthy, but it may raise your stroke risk overnight. Can you guess what it is? It's a type of popular morning exercise, but if done the wrong way, it can cause your blood pressure to surge and strain your brain's blood vessels. As a brain doctor, I was even shocked when I saw how dangerous this could be for older adults. Click now to watch the next video. As a brain doctor, I'm shocked. Over 60? This exercise raises stroke risk overnight. You'll learn what to avoid and which gentle movements can truly strengthen your brain and body. We can't stop aging.
But we can learn to age wisely, peacefully, and with strength. See you in the next video. Video.